Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Live with Liz. If this is your first time joining me, I'm Liz. Lissa Lefevre Shayo is my name, but most people call me Liz, or my twin sister's name, Shelly. Um, I own Firm Forward, which is a legal marketing and business development agency. And every week, or almost every week, not every week, I bring to you Live with Liz, a coffee style break chat where we explore the topics related to legal marketing and business development that keep coming up from day to day or with different clients or because you've asked me to cover a specific topic. And today we're diving into the commercialization of legal tech solutions by law firms. And this is a little bit different than what we usually talk about in relation to legal technology. Hey, good morning, Leah. I love that you're here. Usually we're looking at legal tech as the solution for the law firm to acquire, to purchase, to subscribe to, and to find the best solution out there that already exists. But today we're talking about kind of the reverse of that, and where a situation arises, as law firms and lawyers, you're constantly bombarded with all of these different solutions that are out there. And vendors are constantly demo this, demo that, and see what works for you. Maybe it's a CRM, maybe it's a docketing solution, maybe it's a timekeeping solution. Whatever it is, it's meant to change your world, save you time. It's meant to create a better workflow for you and let you stand out from the crowd because you're using the right legal technology to service your clients. But what really happens is it's hard. It's very difficult to acquire a new legal tech solution. The bigger you are, the more complex it gets. The more places you store data, the more complex it gets. And you go through all of these solutions that are out there and nothing quite hits the mark. Everything's missing just a little bit of something. Maybe it's that it's not optimized for your jurisdiction, or maybe it doesn't take into account something very specific to your practice. So every practice being a little bit different and trying to make this kind of standardized solution fit everything doesn't always work. And even before all of this explosion in legal tech investment and all this money funneling in from investors, from VC groups, from technology companies, even before we've seen this in the last 10, 15, 20 years, what was happening is a lot of law firms were creating their own solutions, sometimes over time, sometimes very quickly, where they would hire their own developers and create proprietary solutions, maybe for a number of reasons like security of data. You want to have more control. You want that solution to be yours. Maybe because you have this unique know-how that makes your solution better, best in class, the optimal solution for your clients, and no one else can. Now, if you've got one of these solutions that you've invested in over time, you've perfected specific to the needs of your firm and your clients, and it's not something you're willing to share, good. That's good on you. That's a decision you've made. And one of the things that we're seeing reported all over the place lately is the strength and benefit of legal technology when it comes to being your unique selling point, to getting and retaining clients, and also to retaining staff. So if you've got one of these that you're holding tight to and not ready to release, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a decision up to you can make. But maybe you've got one of these solutions that over time it's turned out to be something that's interesting for your clients to have for themselves. Maybe you've got a management tool that you created or an automated step that can really help your clients on the client side of their business save time. Maybe your competitors have caught wind and they're interested too, and you've kind of been cultivating a market for this software that you're like, wait a second, everybody could use this. This would be great. And we've invested so much in it. We'd like a little bit more. We want to sell this, and maybe we can make some money back from it, and that's not going to affect our competition. So, oh my gosh, it's noon there. Oh, oops. So if you want to do that and you say, okay, this could be another revenue stream for me, then this is something interesting. And it's something that I've seen firms doing more and more over the years as we've been working together with different firms in different practice areas and walks of life. They've come up with solutions. Now, this is usually born out of a need. So as you know, my background is intellectual property. We're coming into this era where there's so much data out there, but people aren't always sure what to do with it or how to make it work for you and how to actually save time instead of just spending all your time making software work, or understanding the software that is supposed to work. So, as a law firm, maybe you're already figuring this out and investing in it. Now, maybe this is something that you're investing in as your own solution, or maybe you're looking to a third party and saying, we want to develop this for the masses. Now, I keep on seeing this, but there's a few things that I've seen that I'm not really sure make the most sense for the commercialization factor and for actually extending into this space. But it is something that you should be careful about, you should study, and maybe take your own advice that you give to your own business clients when it comes to some of this, especially if you're in an IP background and you're doing tech transfer or something like this. There are a lot of different things to consider. Are you going to expose yourself? Do you need a separate entity? Do you need partners and investors? And where can you figure all of this out? How do people get this done? Do you need separate branding? Yes, yes, you do. You don't want to mix these solutions, especially if you're going to sell them to your competition, with the branding of your law firm. That's just a given. You have to look at it and say, okay, if I'm really going to commercialize this, let's commercialize it. And are you going to do it yourself, or do you need help to do it? And these are decisions that you'll have to look within and figure out what makes the most sense for your firm, for the resources you have available, for the marketing you want to do with it, and what the future looks like for it. Now, a couple of firms that I've seen get involved in this have really transformed from being law firms providing legal services to actually becoming legal technology companies. And this might be something in the back of your mind as, where do we go from here and what does the future hold for us? So when you're doing your strategic planning for the year, you're setting your goals and you're looking at all of the different streams of revenue that you could possibly have. And maybe you haven't, or maybe you will now consider what that legal technology piece of it might look like. There are a couple of resources out there that can be incredibly beneficial when it comes to understanding what this looks like and how this could work for you. Now, you could start with the resources you have available and all the vendors who you're already connected to in your network who've been trying to sell you everything. Some vendors may work with you on something custom or may work with you in a way that is different from some of the other clients. And you may want to discuss something like a partnership or a venture with one of these vendors that you are already familiar with, that you're already working with, who are already involved in the development of something special for you. That is one way to explore the beginnings of the commercialization of software that you're investing in. Maybe that's because you want to share the cost, maybe because you want that extra revenue, maybe because you want the fame and glory. There's nothing wrong with that. All of these things can be achieved. That is one way. When you're looking at the market, your vendors are not your only resource to figure out software solutions where it goes. You have people like me. We have development teams. If you've got that brilliant idea and it's not quite been developed yet, it's still locked somewhere in your brain and you want to share it, develop it, get it off the ground. We've got a few different teams that we work with on the development side of things to come up with legal technology that actually functions. We've got a solution for the big fish. We've got a solution for the small fish. So if you're looking for developers, that's something we can help you with, no problem. Maybe you're not looking for developers. Maybe you've got them in-house and you just want to explore the market. There is a conference out there because, of course, there is. We legal tech junkies out there have to have our conferences. And actually, there are quite a few. So if you go to any of the major legal trade shows on the floor, the exhibit floors, you will find legal technology companies exhibiting. And there are a lot of knowledgeable people who attend these conferences, who are on the exhibit floor, and who would be more than happy to speak with you about solutions that are out there. And you don't even have to reveal what you're doing. You could just kind of do your reconnaissance and go in and kind of stealthily get the information you need, or at least start that and make some of those connections in the legal tech space who could help make this commercialization a reality for you, or go into it with you, or even just give you advice and insight on how they made it happen. And what you may not even realize is that a lot of those solutions out there started with law firms to begin with. I mean, every day I'm working with firms that are using solutions that were created or born by law firms and the need of the firms to get those solutions off the ground. Maybe they didn't do it themselves. Maybe they invested and were partners in it, but that's still a way to go. It definitely is. Now, there's one conference out there in particular that stands out as a place where you can really explore a lot of what we're talking about when it comes to the commercialization of this type of legal tech, and that is ILTACon. If you have not heard of ILTA, it is the International Legal Technology Association. Hopefully I'm getting that acronym right. And they have an annual meeting. It's called ILTACon, super nerdy, kind of reminds you of Comic-Con. I don't know if they do cosplay because I've never actually been, but now that I'm thinking about it, I absolutely want to go. And this is a place where a lot of legal tech people will be because it's a legal tech conference. And law firms that are already doing this and commercializing some of the legal technology that they have are also there. And this is where you can really get into the stories of how this happens. This is where you can find the resources. I'm sure there are developers there, investors there. These VC groups that invest in other verticals that are related to legal technology, often they're invested in multiple verticals. So you might have the same venture capitalist group might be invested in legal publishing, but is also invested in legal technology. And we do see those publishers going the way of legal tech companies. I mean, you see it not just with, well, I see it with maybe like Law Business Research. Is that really a legal publishing company or is that a legal technology company? Maybe right now I would call it both, but there's no reason a law firm couldn't be a law firm and a legal technology company. Okay, maybe there are reasons. And you may know them more than I do. So of course, there are going to be your standard considerations when it comes to data privacy, when it comes to competition, when it comes to bar rules and what's allowed and what's not allowed. And so those are things that you would definitely have to check the boxes before you endeavor on commercializing any software solution that you've already got or that you have in mind. But this is definitely something I'm seeing firms have success with. I'm also seeing some firms struggle with. But it is interesting as a stream of revenue if it's something that you've got, and it's something that you may want to consider for the future for expanding into a new area that maybe makes sense for you based on the know-how and experience you have and what you can bring to the table. And maybe this legal technology is not just for your competition, but for the corporate side as well, where you really have a market for expanding beyond the legal services arena that you're already in a way that's meaningful and worth it when it comes to the money involved and the return on the investment that you can achieve. So if you haven't thought about legal tech commercialization for the software solutions you've invested in or for the ones that are still in your brain, take a minute, think about it. What could you possibly get done if you were solving all of these little problems that you already know how to fix? And maybe you've already got the solution sitting right in your firm and you could actually commercialize something that cost you a fortune that you've already got ready. And maybe just take it a step further. So that's all for me today on legal tech commercialization. If you have any questions, as always, you're welcome to send us questions. We will try and answer as many as we can. Solutions@firmforward.com. We're happy to answer your one-off questions. And if you happen to be in Miami next week, I will be in Miami and would be happy to meet with you, maybe for some coffee or complaining or people watching or whatever it is. Nice walk. Let me know. I'll be there November 14th to the 17th. And then later on, I'm attending the Inter-American IP Association annual meeting. That's a mouthful, but it is absolutely one of my favorite conferences. And it is in Medellin, Colombia this year, the first week of December. So if you happen to be in Colombia, I would love to meet with you there too in Medellin. And yeah, don't be a stranger. Come join us on Wednesdays for Live with Liz at 9 a.m. Houston time. Thanks, everybody, and have a great rest of your week.